Then Andy and his mother and daddy had no place to live until he was 9 years old. They lived with family members around and people in the neighborhood that would let them come in, stay a while, then they had to go. Andy's mother worked around, made a little money. His daddy worked at the furniture factory. And after a while, they was able to save $600. They came over here and they bought a boarded up building, or a shack you might call it, with a door over to the flag. There was only 3 rooms back through there. They had no bathroom. They had a privy in the backyard. As Andy said one time, that if it was raining outside, it was raining inside. So you can imagine what it was. His mother would keep him in the kitchen by the wood cook stove in the wintertime to keep him warm. Andy lived that way for about 9 years. He graduated from high school, went down to Carolina. She passed away, said this, and I quote, "From the day that she signed the contract to do Ain't Be, nobody on earth could get along with her. She was a person that always felt like that the Andy Griffith show was beneath her calling. Since she was a Broadway actress and a movie star, she always felt like she was just a little bit above everybody else.
Right.
She didn't try to get along with anybody, make friends, or do anything. And it went on that way for 8 years. When she retired, she moved down to Siler City, a town here in North Carolina, and that was used on the show several times. Down there, she had a big, fine home, and it was beautiful. I haven't been to see it in person, but
Go do the school cross in Barney at Haymore
in Rockford.
and Rockford. Did they ever film anything in Mount Airy?
Nothing was ever filmed here, no sir.
All in Hollywood for it.
All in Northern California.
Just brought the names.
Open up at 10 o'clock every morning. Slow down right here. Maybe I can wave the people around me. And don't get that pole.
There's Andy.
There's Andy and Opie. Sure is. The playhouse right there is the auditorium they saved from the elementary school and set out there in that parking lot where Andy went to school at. Right here on the left, we've got 35 vineyards and wineries in Surry County, and all of them do good. The Mount Airy Museum of Original History, right there, a lot to see and a lot to enjoy. This building on our left right here with no top on it, we had our 4th of July parade there on Monday morning, and the building fell out in the street on Tuesday morning.
My goodness.
Too much weight, and it fell out. Barney's Cafe right here is a good place to eat. Visitor Center and the Chamber of Commerce is on our left. There's the sock outlet right there. You can go in and buy your socks. Hey, how you getting along? Who you got in there with you? Okay. Y'all having a good day? All right. You too. I took them for a tour yesterday.
Everybody knows Roger.
Everybody knows Roger.
We're friends with Alan Newsom, who plays Floyd.
How are you? Okay.
Yeah, from Huntsville, Alabama. And we walked down here last night. Everybody wanted to come say hi to Alan, or Floyd the Barber.
He is here now.
Yeah, he's here filming Mayberryman.
Right.
That's kind of what we're here for.
Walker's right there.
Yes.
Andy Walker on the show. They had the food counter and the pharmacy. That is the real deal. Andy worked right in there as a teenager. He sold and served food across the counter. He delivered pharmacy products up and down the street where they were needed. And back here that he could walk to and make the deliveries.
Amazing. Still there.
Earl Theater right here on our left. That is where Don Knotts' daughter has been many times and done stand-up comedy during the Mayberry Days.
Right.
The Cash or Green Finance Building right here on the right, we call that the real deal too. Then Andy's day, there was a Grand Theater. Andy worked in there. He sold popcorn tickets to go back in there and see the show.
Wow.
Okay. The Opie's Candy Store next door. We got Floyd's Barber Shop next door to it.
Yep. Two chairs, no waiting right there.
2 chairs and no waiting. Snappy Lunch. Been there since 1923.
Pork chop sandwich, huh?
Pork chop sandwich, exactly right. Andy used people's names on the show occasionally and street names. And one of the street names he used was this intersection right here. Main Street and Pine. Main Street and Pine.
Okay, but is there another set of doors on the inside there? It almost looks like it's a
It does look like
vestibule.
it's
It's a reflection, I believe.
Everything is original.
It is gorgeous.
North Main Street, a historical area. These houses have to be maintained structurally. As you see them on the outside, the inside you can make changes, but not on the outside. The granite stone house right there was built by Mr. Sargent back in 1919. He built that for himself and his family, and they lived there until. The Andy Griffith Mayberry phenomenon. Everything here is working this week. The theater, the amphitheater, the playhouse, whatever. We have our parades on Saturday, and there'll be some vendors, a lot of food, a lot of good time. The largest church we have in the area is right here on the left. This is the First Baptist Church of Mount Airy, built in 3 time periods. Some years ago, they built a new sanctuary on this end because the old sanctuary got to be too small. Down on the middle right here, they built these educational building back in the late 40s and early 50s. The original church built right here on the end, built on the Gothic style, with the towers on top of it like that. There they have the building at the tall tower. That is all hand chiseled granite back in 1907. That's the only thing they had to work with.
They didn't have to go too far to get their granite, did
Didn't have to
they?
go too far to get the
Transportation costs.
Well, okay. Give me a second.
Yeah, Andy's home church right there. They paid his way to University of North Carolina, at least for the first 2 years.
That's right.
Then he decided to go into acting instead of preaching.
But he did get his 4-year degree.
Got a teaching degree.
Teaching degree, right. Now, tell you a little bit about Barber and Andy. They could not have children of their own. So they decided they would go out and try to adopt it, and 12 inches deeper. That would be one tractor trailer load, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 pounds.
Really?
That's all they could put on it. All you could put on it.
My goodness, that's
It's
heavy.
very dense and very heavy.
So it's
Mom and
amazing.
Daddy were very, very poor people, and they had no place to live, and I will tell you more about that until when we get down on that end. The story starts off in Andy's early teen years. He was attending Haymoor Baptist Church down on that end, on the south end, but one day he was up here on the north end of town, and he heard the Moravian Church band playing music. Here comes the truck to get a load now. The only kind of instruments they played was brass instruments. Then, and they still do today. Andy asked a preacher one day would he teach him how to play one of the instruments and the music. Sure enough, all through his teen years, he learned to play the tuba and the trombone and the music. The people at the church thought a lot of Andy. They made him an offer when he got ready to graduate from high school. A jet cutter. It's done like a pressure washer. They cut right down through it, slab it off, move it down here, and work it into whatever the customer has ordered. What they can't use for something anymore, they break it up, bring it right over there, run it through that rock crusher there. They screen it out through these 2 towers right here. It's 7 miles long, north to south.
Wow.
It is 4 miles wide, east to west. They estimate that stone right there being 8,000 feet deep. That's almost a mile and a half. They've been over here for 130 years, and they've only gone down 90 feet. So if you could picture a 10-story building right there, all the way down through there, that's how much stone is left here in 130 years.
Okay, here we are at Mayberry Campground. Come as our guest and leave as our family. Mount Airy, North Carolina. And so if you're coming for Mayberry Fest or Mayberry Days, here in Mount Airy, North Carolina, also known as Mayberry. So, thus the name Mayberry Campground. Now, this particular week here in Mount Airy, North Carolina, the home of Andy Griffith, for all of you Andy Griffith fans out there, Opie and Don, but Andy Griffith actually grew up in Mount Airy. That's the reason Mount Airy is kind of pseudonym for Mayberry. And some very nice campgrounds here. We're actually here filming Mayberryman the series. So more on that. Those of you that follow me know that I'm involved with Mayberryman the movie and Mayberryman the series. But Mayberry Campground is a pretty cool campground. Look at all this. Just on the hillside here. And there's someone that's possibly here for Mayberry Fest. Yes, I would think so with that car they have there. And Mount Airy is a pretty cool place to visit with all the Mayberry paraphernalia here, all the tours you can take, and a lot of good shops downtown, Main Street. You want to shop on Main Street. So, been impressed with Mayberry Campground, and we're just about a mile and a half outside of downtown Mount Airy, North Carolina. And those of you that aren't aware of that, we're very, very close to the Virginia state line. So we're almost in Virginia. Someone told me there is no less than about 30 vineyards right around here. Shelton Vineyard comes to mind. A lot of wineries in the mountains here on the edge of the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian State, I think, is close by, and a few schools like that. But we have kind of a picturesque, let me see if I can find can't do it on this video, but we are located up on the mountain, or on the side of the hill there, overlooking this whole picturesque campground here. Paying about $42 a night here in September of 2022. And last night we stayed at a Harvest Host, doing a review on that brewery as well. But I thought you might want to know a little bit about Mayberry Campground. And maybe I'll pop a couple of photos in of downtown Mayberry soon and tie to this. So thanks for watching, all of you RVers out there that are looking for little places off the beaten path. And Mount Airy, North Carolina is off the beaten path. You got to be kind of coming here on purpose. Thanks for watching all. Bye now. And here's the view from up on high. I was down below earlier. There's the lake you might have seen. Ducks on the lake. So here we are at the top. Mayberry. Some drive-throughs up here if you need them.